Hiya.
Hello.
Welcome to Geeky Girls Knit and Cross Stitch. I'm Cece, also known as Java Pearl.
I'm Dammy, also known as Dammy's Doodles.
And we're glad to have you today. Today is Thursday, the 16th of April, 2020, and this is episode 392. We'd like to say a big welcome back. We love you guys. To all our returning viewers, and a big hiya to any new viewers. Thanks for giving us a shot. We hope you enjoy this show. This is day 57 zillion of quarantine. That's what it feels like. I had a virtual doctor's appointment today on Zoom. Which was, I was very relieved because I did not want to go into the doctor's office. I haven't left the flat in over a month. But I definitely did not want to go into a doctor's office, and they were very understanding of that. So, that was kind of interesting to have a doctor's appointment over the computer. Mm-hmm. So, well, we have a lot of yummies today because people send us lovely things, and it makes me so happy.
What are you eating?
I think she dropped a piece of food. She was still chomping when she came in here. We're talking about our cat, in case you're new, Pink Pearl. Stay tuned after the credits, and she'll be on the show, unless she's on here before that.
Pink, your blank is over here. But no, you want the strings.
There's a box, Dammy.
Of strings.
There's a box, Dammy. Maybe she'll come sit behind us, like right here. That would be very cute. Well, I want to show you all these yummies, so we should get started. Here we go.
And now we're going to talk about what's on her needles.
That's right. So I am still working on the Dr. Hub's birthday socks. This is my French Vanilla Cappuccino sock pattern on US 1.5, 2.5 mil needles, and you'll need to see my Ravelry page, which is linked in the show notes, if you want to know the colorways, because there's 9 of them, because they're Frankenstein socks. So I am almost done with these, y'all. I will be done with these by the time we record next week. So I am working them concurrently on 9-inch circulars that I call zoom zooms, because you zoom around in color in circles. I was gonna say there's lots of colors. There's 9 colors. So did all the way up to the heel. Did the heels. So I've just started this colorway right here again. It's a self-striping with reds and browns and grays. So I'm going to do that one, and then I will do also this colorway that's the red, white, and blue. And then the cuffs will be this colorway right here. And then they'll be done. And then as long as I have enough yarn, which I think I should, I will cast on another pair of these using these same colors. Maybe I'll change the order, because that would be fun. To knit for my bestie Katie's husband's birthday, which is at the end of May. And he has very big feet, very long feet. So it takes a while to knit his birthday socks. So those will, that'll probably be the next thing I do, is just go ahead and cast on his and get started on them, and hopefully use up some of these 9 leftover colorways of yarn. If I get them down to just a very small amount, which actually this one that I'm using right now, I only have this much left. Depending on how much I have left when I finish knitting the 10 rows of each of the color on each sock, it may get put in for using in preemie hats, because I hold fingering doubled for preemie hats if I have fingering weight yarn to use. But we'll just have to see how much is left when I get done knitting these rows, because I'm knitting 10 rows at a time of each color. So, other than obviously the toe, heel, and cuff, I have to knit the amount. And I was very pleased with how this worked out for the heel, because I was able to do 5 rows of the color and then 5 rows of the color on the top and bottom of the heel. It just worked out that way. So there's 5 rows of that colorway, and then there's the other 5 rows of it. So The reasoning for picking the toe healing cuff color that I did was those were the ones I had the most leftover yarn of. So, all right. Well, that is the only thing that I am knitting on right now, but I do have one FO to show you. So let's move on to the next segment.
And now we're going to talk about her finished project.
So here is this week's preemie hat. This is number 15 for the year. It's from my free top-down preemie hat pattern that you can download on Ravelry. I did it on US 6's 4-mil needles. The variegated colorway, which is actually the gray and the white, and then there's some of the kind of tealy green color, as well as this paler, like celery green. That one is Birthday Softy Baby, Ombres and Prints in the Prince Pebbles colorway. And then the pom-pom and the stripe and actually the bind off are in Knit Picks Wool of the Andes Worsted in the Tranquil colorway, because I actually ran out of the Prince Pebbles. So I did the bind off using the Tranquil, which I like to do sometimes. I think it's cute. So you get a different look of the hat if you have it on this side, because it's got primarily the grays and the white on this side, but if you turn it this way, it's primarily the kind of celery and white. So this was Easter Sunday's hat. So you'll see in Yummies when we show you GGK Crafty Pad, I
took a picture.
Yes, I staged it with Cordelia the sheep. Yeah. That's what I was trying to think of as the word staged. So, yeah. So that is this week's finished knitting project. But I have a finished cross-stitch project too. So let's move on to the next segment so I can tell you about it. And now it's time for FlossTube. What are you working on, Dammy?
I am still working on the Rapunzel pattern, which is from Unique Door Sign on Etsy. I'm almost done with the main color of the hair.
It's very pretty. Yeah. Classes started this week, so you're not having as much crafting time.
Yeah.
A group I'm in on Facebook, somebody is working on the Belle and Chip, the teacup one of that, and I was like, oh, I need that in my life. It's so cute. Yep. So what will you work on next after you finish that color?
The secondary color for the hair.
Oh, okay.
Shading.
So you haven't done this part of the color of the hair, though. This hair part of the hair there on there. Or there.
Oh, I did that one.
Oh, you did do that one. Okay. Cool. Do you want to say anything else about cross stitch?
No.
Okay.
What are you working on?
Well, let me show you my FO. So this is Let's Stay Home by Satsuma Street. That's still not very true color, but there you go. Look at that kitty. So, obviously it needs to be ironed, but I love this. And how many stitches did we figure out that it was? Like 4,500 stitches or something?
I don't remember.
I think that's somewhere like around there. It was like 4,500 stitches in this small like 5x7 piece. Obviously I cannot FFO it, which I know some people don't know what that means. That means fully finished object. So like making it where I can display it. This is an FO, it's a finished object because I'm done stitching. I won't be able to get stuff to FFO it obviously until this pandemic is over, but I'm hoping to find like a house, like a wooden house like that you would hang on the wall that I can mount this on, because I think that would be really cute. So, but I'm very, very happy with this piece, and I'm glad that I set stuff aside and did it. So there's that. Next up, I picked back up my Christmas list, which is a pattern by, that was done on 14, the Let's Stay Home was done on a 14 count Ada, that was given to me by someone, so I don't know details. And I did not use the called for colors because I didn't have them. Dammy and I did a floss toss. Okay, so here's Silver Creek Samplers, my Christmas list. And like right around here is the halfway point. So kind of partway in there in the piece of goodwill and the dove and the peppermint stick. And I stitched the dove and peace and goodwill this week.
Yay!
It's this is a 28 count even weave from a big box store. I want to say it's probably Joann's is where I got it. And
Michelle?
it's so
Could it not be Michelle?
no, I don't think I've bought any fabric from Michael's. So you can see like well right here where the fold right there is the halfway mark. So I'm technically halfway if you count all this stuff down here. Obviously I do need to fill the peppermint stick in here. So but I am well on the way to getting this done by
Christmas.
yeah, I want to have it finished by the beginning of November so that I can FFO it, because we decorate for Christmas on Thanksgiving Day. So, okay.
Avoiding eye contact.
This is Dammy's fault.
I didn't say do it or else. Gosh.
I am doing my very first full coverage piece, which is going to be probably, I think it's going to end up being approximately 3 feet by 2 feet. So the supplies came in for it yesterday, and I cast it on last night. Let me show you what I'm doing. This is Edinburgh Castle by, it says by Stitch Witch, but she's renamed it herself, and so it's Terra Luna Stitchery. It is 624 stitches by 426 stitches. 63 colors. Actually, though, Dammy, I realized last night, she did not she doesn't have you stitching the white. And my fabric is gray and white. I'm going to have to stitch the white.
It's 64 colors.
So 64 colors. Look at that. 63 plus white. So, yeah, look, here's the floss. I've started putting it on.
Well, I know you have white. So.
Yeah, I do have white. What I do is I take the floss from the DMC skeins, and I
eat it.
No, I cut it into 8 even strands, and I put it onto. This is just cardstock that I've cut with the paper cutter, and Dammy helped me hole punch some of these last night. And just put them on there. So like this is the color I have started with. And so this is...
It's so close to the color of the fabric.
It is. That's making it really hard to stitch because of that. But that's what I do.
What is in the upper left corner?
That.
Cloud.
Yeah. So I'm going to need to stitch all this white here, and the white here, and the white here.
Cool.
I am trying out using, I have not shown it to you yet, but yeah, there's all the floss. And I am slowly putting it onto rings.
Show it to us.
I'm going to. I am trying out the Pattern Keeper app, which currently is only available for Android. They are in the beginning stages of getting it for Apple, but there's no time frame of when that's going to happen. Yeah. So my work phone, because I work for a fiber mill, my work phone is an Android phone, and so I downloaded the app on there just to try it out to see what I thought, because I know that you can put the app onto a Kindle Fire, and they're relatively inexpensive now. So if I like the app...
I don't have mine anymore, I'm sorry.
No. If I like the app, I will probably buy an inexpensive Kindle Fire, because this pattern is like 250,000 stitches or something. It's a lot. So, and this is also the first time I've stitched in a Q-snap. So.
A Q-snap?
There we go. Now I am, ignore that. It was to help me know where to start. It's erasable ink. I just made a dot in that box.
Erasable ink from fabric?
Yeah, I can erase it. It's a friction. So this is a 25 count gridded Lugana, and I am doing a tent stitch. So that means I am only doing, instead of doing an X, I'm only doing one leg of it, which will make it go faster. So that was 200 stitches last night. And it was like, what, 0.08% done? And this is the grime guard that I showed y'all. I can't remember if it was last week or the week before that I got. With all the fabric, excess fabric rolled up into it. I ordered a needle minder.
An Edinburgh needle minder?
I could not find an Edinburgh one, but I found Hogwarts Castle.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, well, Harry Potter is set in Scotland, so we're going to go with Hogwarts Castle. And so I've ordered it. It's not, obviously not in yet. I just ordered it last night. So y'all will be seeing this for the next 70 zillion years.
No.
So what I think I'm going to do each week is...
Do the lines count as part of the grid?
Yes.
Then which grid are they part of?
That's what I had to figure out. So I am using the gray, the square that's gray, as the start. And so it finishes on the last white row before the gray. And I'm using this gray as the start, and so it finishes on the last white one before the gray.
Ooh.
So you just have to remember that. And I did watch some, I watched several different parking videos and cross-country videos and a tent stitch video on YouTube. I just did...
Do you want to explain what parking and cross-country is?
Okay, so I'm not 100% sure about how to explain cross-country because that's not what I'm doing. I just barely started watching it and was like, okay, that's not what I want to do. Parking is like, well, now right now it doesn't really matter because I'm using one color. But when you start using multiple colors, you can, instead of cutting the floss, if it's like used again, you know, within like one or two of the squares, of the 10 by 10 squares, you can put your thread up through the next place it's going to be used and then have the floss just hanging there. And it's called parking your thread so that it's there in the right spot to be used when you get to it. The tent stitch video I watched was actually really, really helpful, and I was doing it wrong to start with, but I didn't rip it out. So, I don't know if you can see this. I can't really see what I'm showing them. I don't know if you can see up here, all the on the back, it all is just up and down lines, where versus down here, it's across, like diagonals. Can you see what I'm talking about on the back?
Yeah.
By doing it where it makes the diagonals as well on the back, it helps keep the fabric from stretching out weird, because sometimes if you just do it where it's got the up and down lines on the back, it can make the fabric be distorted. So that's what I'm doing. So what I think I'm going to do is on Thursdays when we podcast, I'm going to take a picture of it, of where it's at. And
this is your new zigzag blanket.
And then that way, so like, I'm going to take a picture of this where it is right now, today. And then next week when we podcast, I can show you that picture on the screen. I can input, I can put it in the screen and then show you so that you can kind of see the progress. Because especially like where I'm working right now, there's 57 zillion squares of this same color.
Because it's a cloud.
So you're not going to be able to really tell much progress. I'm working in columns by page is my plan. At this moment, we'll see. I had conversations with quite a few different cross-stitchers about this. So, I am 200 stitches in, 57 bazillion to go. Edinburgh Castle. Okay. And then I am continuing to participate in the Sydney Sane Stitchers Challenge group on Ravelry. Not on Ravelry, on Facebook. I'm doing the background certificates, which is, there's a bunch of different landmarks. And I finished Stonehenge, England.
We've been there.
We have been there. I did 4,000 stitches, which is the number of years ago that the Stonehenge that we know of was finished. And what I decided to do is have a separate location that I'm working on, as well as I'm doing the Mapping Your Literary Journey, which is you have a book that you read or have read this year that you stitch 25 stitches per page. So I'm doing a separate book and a separate location for Edinburgh Castle. Now, as I get towards the end of the year, if I don't have enough stitches to finish it out using this, I may, use other projects that I'm working on. But that is what I'm doing. I'm also participating in the Stitch or No Stitch game on Sydney Sane Stitchers. And I need to do 40 more stitches before I am offered a deal on Stitch or No Stitch. So, that is where I'm at on that. So, that is FlossTube for this week. However, there is a lot of cross-stitch content in Yummies. So, you're going to want to stay tuned for the next segment. Let's move on to it. And now it's time for our favorite part of the show, Yummies. What are Yummies, Dammy?
Yummies are our current favorite things we like, things we want to talk to you about.
Yummies. Sorry, my nose is itching. Allergies. Okay, we got, oh my gosh, in the mail this week. So first up, from Lori, who is Lavissa on Ravelry, who has sent stuff before for us, sent more stuff. So she sent these DMC floss number stickers.
I'm going to eat them.
Dammy's going to use them.
I want to do like what you do now. I just don't have a lot of space. I don't have space for my floss.
Well, you see how I store mine is I store it in one of those bags like sit in my Edinburgh Castle bag. Because I put them onto the rings, to the cards, that I put them on the rings. And then I have them in one of those bags that I got from Amazon for very inexpensive. And I just stack them in there. My plan eventually is to get the Dr. Hubs to put a pegboard on the side of my craft cabinet in my office space, which is right back there. And put metal hook kind of rod things that stick out so that or metal hooks on there that I can hang those the rings of the floss on. So that they're just like hanging there. So, but you can do this with your floss. You could just do, even 5, if you just do like 5 a day, or if you even just do 1 a day onto a floss card, you'll get them done.
Anyway, we have more stuff.
Yes. So, there you go. Merry Christmas. She sent this adorable Dimensions kit. It's called Try to Relax, and look at that kitty. It looks like pink. I think when I stitch it, I'm going to leave the words off, though, and just do
kitty.
The basket.
That's
with the
pink.
Kitty. Yeah.
That's pink.
But yeah, it came with the floss and the fabric. It's a 14 count tan cotton Aida. So, wait, that's not all. She sent me this bag of DMC flosses. I think it starts with 1 and goes into the 30s. Because there's 35 right there.
Okay, but did you check and see if any of those were for me?
No. But you have access to my floss and can use it if you need it.
Can I look? Right now.
Why, are you stealing it?
I wanted to see if any of them were my colors.
Oh, yeah?
Thank you for this lovely bag of floss.
And she sent me a box like she sent to Dammy of flosses. So I will move all these over onto cards as well. So, and I think she said that there's more coming.
Oh my gosh.
I don't think any of them are going to be yours because I think they're all
double numbered.
Double numbered.
We can check anyhow.
Okay.
Can't we?
But you could also check this. I think it's going to be the same ones.
Oh, yeah, no, that's the same.
Okay. Oh, is that white right there? Or is that B5200?
Let's find out.
I mean, I've got white, but it is B5200. Maybe I'll just use B5200 as white. But that way I could, because I bought, even though I might have, I didn't actually check to see for Edinburgh Castle if I had any of the flosses, because I knew that was going to be a long-term project, so I wanted to just have a whole separate floss thing for it, so I didn't have to be pulling back and forth. So, thank you so much to Lori. I think there's more coming, she said. I'm not sure, but thank you so much, Lori. That was so sweet of you. Next up is, this is from my friend Michelle, Bendy Stitchy Designs, Michelle Bendy Stitchy, FlossTube. She also does, knitting. It's called BS Knits, Bendy Stitchy Knits. She doesn't do that weekly, but she does do that. But I, support her on Patreon, and, she had these little pattern cards that she posted. I think she had maybe like 20 of them or something, and it was like a claim one, first come first serve. And so she sent me a sweet card this week. Look at this. Thank you for being a friend. And this is the card I picked. This is a Prairie Schooler pattern, companion to book 187 of Fables and Tales. It's a little sheep that says Baba Black Sheep Wool. And it just uses 3 colors. It just uses red, gray, and a black brown. And it's only like 40 by 40, but not even all the stitches are stitched. So that could be a cute little thing to do. I have a sheep that I stitched from while we were in Edinburgh from one of our trips somewhere, and it's a little one, like probably about 40 by 40, a sheep inside of, and then it's mounted inside of like a little greeting card type thing, and I have it stitched in up on the wall. I could stitch this one and like maybe move it over a little bit and hang it up there too, next to it. That would be really cute. So thank you so much to Michelle for that. You guys, then came in the mail. I want to make sure I don't show addresses. This big old box. And I was like, what in the world is this? I was like, I don't know what this is. And we opened it, and I was like, oh, yeah, that's right. She was going to send me some books that she had. Because she was cleaning. I think they moved, and she was cleaning and everything. This is from Pam, who is Chiefy on Ravelry. She wrote me a sweet little note. It made me laugh, though, when I opened it. It said, FYI, COVID-19, no contact, not aware of anyone with it. Package should be safe. Smiley face. So, that made me giggle. So, she wrote me a sweet little note. And what she was supposed to be sending me were these 3 books. Actually, I think it may have just been these 2, but she tossed this one in too, which is nice, because I don't think I've read this one yet. No, I am only on, I just read that one. So, that'll be good. So, these are Lillian Jackson Braun books. That's the Cat Who series. And so, this is one of the books in the series, The Cat Who Dropped a Bombshell. But she also had these 2 books, the Cat Who Quiz Book and the Cat Who Companion. And she knew I was reading the series and asked if I wanted them, and I was like, sure. So I haven't even actually looked through them yet.
I want to look in the quiz book. Is it like, which cat are you, or?
Let's see. No, it's like questions based on the books.
You better remember.
Let's see, is the one that I just read in here? I think it was the cat who said cheese. I think that's right. Let's see, 128. Let's see if it rings a bell. Yes. There's a mysterious woman registered at the hotel in Pickaxe City. What color is she always wearing? I think black. Where's the answers?
Lots of fun for the whole family.
Well, only if you've read the books.
You can guess and make your own ridiculous answers.
Where is it at? Yes, here we go. Black. I was right. That's fun. Let's see, what are the... Which cat's head is stuck in Mrs. Cobb's old cheese basket?
Yum, yum.
Yum, yum. Her sweet little head got stuck.
I don't actually know. I just thought Yum Yum was a funny name.
My nose will not quit itching. Anyway, so that's what I was expecting from her. I got a whole lot more than that. She sent... This is a Shoppel Crazy Zauberball.
Zauberball.
In the Charisma colorway.
There's a cat on their logo.
There is. It is, let's see, 100 grams, 420 meters. 75% superwash wool, 25% nylon. And this is what it knits up like. And I think actually I'm going to use this to knit birthday socks for my bestie, Katie. I think that would be good. And then she sent this one. This is from Blue Ridge Yarns. This is Kaleidoscope. It's a custom color. 100 grams, 400 yards. It's a superwash merino sock yarn 2-ply. I'm assuming merino nylon. But there's the color. That's actually pretty true to color right there. If I don't have enough yarn left over from the Dr. Abs birthday socks to knit Katie's husband's birthday socks, I will use this. So there's that one, and then there's this one. This is from Bootleggers Hollow Hand Dyes. This is the Look at the Flowers Lizzie colorway. It's a 100 gram, 463 yards, 75/25 merino nylon. Look at that. I feel like this needs to be knit in the summer into socks for me. Maybe if we're able to go to Idaho for the show, this would be a good one to knit on while we're at the show there. But that's not all. Now I'm going to crinkle. Damn, me and I about lost it when we saw this. Look at this little kitty. It's a votive holder. And this is how Pinky sleeps.
She was in that exact position when we opened the box and pulled it out.
So we need to get candle to put in there. It might actually be
a cat candle.
No, it might actually be nice to get one of those candles that's the battery operated one. But wait, that's not all. One more thing. She sent me this is from I Love Handles. It's their wrist ruler. They're an Oregon company. They're local. This is a 16-inch rose gold, and she told me, hold on, let me find the message, because she told me that this color was exclusive to her local yarn shop, Wool Workshop. She said it's customized for her local yarn shop. How pretty is that rose gold? Oh yeah, there it is. It's on there actually. Wool Workshop. I love these. This is my third one now. I have a bright pink one and a gray one. And I use these often, actually. Especially when we're not in a pandemic. I actually wear them and actually, like, use them. Like, I've measured stuff in Joann's before using this. So, thank you so much to Pam for all of these amazing goodies. I've already sent her a message to tell her thank you. I was having a really rough day the day they arrived, and so it definitely made me very happy. And then the last thing that I have on the list here, these are stickers from Nerdbird Makery. I had seen that she was going to be posting them, and so as soon as she posted them, I got Dammy and I both wanted this one. This is a cat who is a social distancing expert. There's also a squirrel one that is a social distancing expert. And then she included free in the envelope, spread joy, not germs. I have to figure out where I'm going to put these.
She has a spot by her desk that has stickers
On the wall.
So they're not unstuck. She blue tacks them to the wall.
I put stickers on stuff, though. I do. So I'll have to find something special, someplace special for those. So I really love Nerdbird Makery stuff. Well, y'all know I bought this project bag that is no longer available. This shirt, nevertheless, she knitted. I was also wearing my Fraser logo knitter shirt, Seattle knitter shirt yesterday. I was like, why am I wearing my just, you know, around the house shirts? I can wear my nicer t-shirts. So I have been. Okay, that's all the yummies that I have. Thank you again so much to Lori and Michelle and Pam, and then, of course, the lovely stickers from Nerdbird Makery. This community, the knitting community, the cross-stitch community, have blessed us in so many ways, and I just am so grateful for the things that you do for us, as well as, you know, just the kind words that you send, and just, it just means so much to us. So thank you so much for being part of our community. Do you have any yummies, Dammy?
No.
No. Okay, well then let's talk about hashtag GGK Crafty Pad. What is it?
It stands for Geeky Girls Knit Crafty Photo a Day Challenge. We have a list of photo prompts for each month, so you take a look at the prompt for that day, take a picture related to it, and post it anywhere you like, but we pick our favorites from Instagram.
That's right, and this month our theme continues to be numbers, and you're welcome to either use it as kind of a, this is what I did today, or this happened today, or this is what I knit or stitched or whatever today, or you can be very specific and be like, you know, today's the 16th, so there's 16 stitches left to bind off, there's 16 rows left to knit, I've knit 16 inches on the body of my sweater, whatever, you know. So it's definitely very cheater friendly. So Dammy, what are we about to show them?
2 photos from us that we liked and 5 photos from other people that we liked.
Here come the photos. Great job, everybody. It's never too late to join in. You take a look at the prompt for the day. As we said today, that when we're recording this, it's the 16th. You interpret the prompt however you want. We're very cheater friendly on this. You post your picture on Instagram. Make sure in the caption you use hashtag GGK Crafty Pad. because that's how we find your photo. If you are participating in GGK Crafty Pad and you have a private account on Instagram, you need to make sure that Dammy's Doodles is following you. Just send her a message. Otherwise, we can't see your photos. So, and yours might get chosen. And we feature them like in the show notes and here on the podcast, as well as on social media. So, yes.
Oh, big stretch.
Big stretch. Okay, the only upcoming event that we're currently planning, well, Dammy's not, the Dr. Hubs and I will be attending. Obviously, we don't know because of the pandemic, but at this point, we're planning to be there. The Grazing Hills Fiber Fest in Viola, Idaho, on Saturday and Sunday, the 11th and 12th of July. Their website is ghfiberfest.com, and I'll be teaching a continental knitting class on Saturday the 11th from 10 a.m. to noon, and you can register for the class on the website. All right, well, we have more stuff to talk about, so we should move on to the next segment.
And now we're going to talk about what we are reading, watching, and listening to.
And you are reading a lot of stuff, Dammy. Mm-hmm. Tell us about it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm a couple days behind on my friend's book club for Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte, so I need to try and catch back up with that. I want to know when my paperback version is coming in. I ordered Jane Eyre, too.
Who did you order from?
Abe Books. I have a tracking number, but...
Have you looked up lately?
No. Abe Books isn't what it's from. It's a conglomerate of thrift stores.
Yeah, I know, but there is some stuff coming that I don't know what it is.
Well, you said I wasn't having a package coming today.
Not today, but it might be that one. It's not, that's Amazon. That, and it's not that, that is Knit Crate. So it might be this one. It was coming from somewhere.
Because Jane Eyre and Wuthering Heights are coming from different places.
From Memphis. But it says it's Bound Matter. So I bet that's...
One of them. It's going to end up being Jane Eyre.
Yay, informed delivery.
Yeah, so I'm kind of reading it. I need to catch back up with it. I'm reading the next two for classes. One is at the The Dobie Joatsi by Richard B. Lee, which is for my cultural anthropology class.
What is it about?
It's about a tribe.
Okay.
In the Dobie, rhymes with Toby. The first day of classes, the professor was like, I don't know how to pronounce the name of the book. And I was like, okay, we're off to a great start.
Okay.
So, in the Dobie region near Nambia.
Okay.
And the other, I haven't started on this, but I need to, because we'll have a quiz on it on Monday, is Phaedra by, I think it's Jean Racine.
And what class is that for?
Theater history.
Cool.
We're reading lots of plays, just like we did in Plays Correct Analysis. I get to read a Victor Hugo play. I've not read one of his plays yet.
Cool.
Yeah, that's after Phaedra. So, I'm also reading The Glass Scientist, which is a webcomic by Sabrina Coutinho. And
I assume with all four of those things, you're getting 15 minutes of reading in a day.
Yeah.
Classes started on Monday.
No class should be at 8 a.m., especially not cultural anthropology.
3 days a week.
Yeah. And especially not music classes either, because all of, like, the music theory classes and stuff are at 8 a.m.
That's what time they were for me, too, when I took them. 5 days a week, I believe.
No one wants to learn theory at 8 a.m. Anyway.
No. So what am I referring to with your 15 minutes a day?
The April, May, June 2020 read-along.
So this is a challenge for you to read 15 minutes a day every day. I don't care what you're reading, as long as you're reading.
Oh.
Cheers.
Cheers, brah.
This episode is not brought to you by Diet Coke. It's brought to you by We're Exhausted.
Where everybody knows my name. People are all the same.
Audiobooks do count. Sorry, I got distracted there. There is our seasonal, 3-month quarterly read-alongs, as well as a year-long challenge that you earn entries into by participating in the quarterly challenges. And we will do 3 grand prizes at the start of 2021, and you could win. So all the details.
You can win.
You can win.
You could win. You will win.
Well, 3 of you will win. 3 of you. 3 of you will win. The details are in the show notes as well as in the Ravelry group. Yeah. Okay. I just started a new book last night called Fiber Shed: Growing a Movement of Farmers, Fashion Activists, and Makers for a New Textile Economy by Rebecca Burgess. I'm reading this for my job, working at the fiber mill. But I'm still in the introduction, but she created a fiber shed in California. And I will tell you more about what a fiber shed is next week, because I only just started reading the book. But essentially it's like it's an organization that brings together people from like the entire
region,
the entire process of, like, for example, if it's clothing, people, the farmers and the dyers and the weavers or the knitters or whatever. It's bringing together people, and it's typically done by region. Yes. So I just started reading that. I am continuing to reread book 5 in the Harry Potter series by J.K. Rowling, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. I'm rereading it with Harry Potter and the Sacred Text podcast, and Swish and Flick and All Potter podcast. And this week chapter was Professor Umbridge. How can somebody who loves the color pink and cats be so evil? And actually next week it'll still be this chapter, because Swish and Flick divided the chapter into 2 parts. So, which is good, because the episode for the first half of the chapter was almost 2 hours long. So, there's that. I finished reading book 6 in the Villain series by Serena Valentino, The Odd Sisters, A Tale of the Three Witches. I read book 3 in the Lucy Kincaid series by Allison Brennan, which is a FBI series, but she was Lucy, the main character, was the victim of a very serious and life-altering crime. She was kidnapped and other things happened. But she is becoming an FBI agent. Mm-hmm. So, I read book number 2 in the Similars series by Rebecca Hanover, the book The Pretenders. And this is about, it's like set at kind of like a boarding school, but there's clones.
Okay.
And so, and there's some...
Send your clone to class for you?
No, like they're, but there's some,
ethical implications.
well, but that's not the word I'm trying to think of. There is some...
Hijinks.
No, that's not the word. Prejudice about whether these clones are actually real humans or not. And different views are held in different areas.
Was Dolly a real sheep?
So, anyway, there's that series. I read The Lost Book of the Grail by Charlie Lovett. I had read several of his other books last year and really enjoyed them. This one was okay. There were several things that I didn't know, because it was like set primarily in a library in a cathedral. And so there was different things, like I was even asking the Dr. Hubbs.
It's my dream home.
I was asking the Dr. Hubbs, I was like, do you know what da-da-da is? And he was like, no, I've not heard that term before. So I'm like having to look it up and try to figure out what it was. But
I knew what you were saying. You were like, once no could do me this.
But that's not the only thing I asked him about.
It's Simeon's song.
Simeon's song, yes. So it was interesting to read that. I read book number 24 in the J.P. Beaumont series by J.A. Jans, which is a procedural police series set in Seattle, and that's the most recent one.
No more Seattle crimes?
Well, I mean, like, she could write another one. Because this one just released, like, late 2019, I believe. So.
You've had enough time to write another one. Go ahead.
Well, she writes more than one series.
Well, don't do that.
But this one actually, a big part of the story harkened back to, like, a way earlier case. So it was interesting to, like, have that happen. And then I read the book number 18 in the Cat Who ... series.
The Cat Who.
By Lillian Jackson Braun, which we discussed in Yummies.
What did the cat do this time?
There was a guy stalking his ex-wife, trying to kill her.
And the cat ate him. The end.
No. And she was, like, in hiding in their little town, but he found her.
And the cat saved her. The end.
No, the cat solves the crimes, not usually participates in them. Solving them.
Solving the crimes. Wait, how can you solve the crimes if you don't participate in solving them?
No, he doesn't participate in, like, hunting down the people. He, like, knocks books off shelves or, like, destroys things that give you clues.
Oh, is this the fat cat named Diesel?
No, this is Yum Yum and Coco?
Coco. It is Coco.
Coco.
So, which one is... Where's Diesel? Who's Diesel?
Diesel is in the,
Cat in the Stacks?
Yes, and I'm actually, I believe I'm on the hold list for the next one in that series, if I'm thinking correctly.
Cool.
I think that's this one right here.
Careless Whiskers.
Careless Whiskers. Yes, the cat in the stacks. Careless Whiskers. But I have to wait 10 weeks for it.
Oh, no.
Because I'm number 10 in line, and there's only 2 copies. But hopefully some people are read as fast as I do and get through things. Like, I currently have 1, 2, 3, 4 books checked out. And I currently have
them
1,
all
2, 3,
finished
4,
tomorrow
5,
morning.
6. No, I won't have them all finished. I'll probably have 1 finished. I haven't started, because I finished up the Cat Who one last night, and I didn't start a new one because sleep. Okay. We've been discussing books for 12 minutes. Okay, watching. You want to talk about the first thing?
Sure, we watched the 2012, I think it was Birmingham filmed, concert version of Jesus Christ Superstar with Tim Minchin and Ben Forster.
Yes.
Oh. And one of the Spice Girls.
Melby.
Sporty Spice, I think.
I don't know. I didn't really follow them.
I looked her up, and I think that's the one she was. Sporty Spice.
She played Mary Magdalene.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So.
And now I've been listening to it.
Yes, you can sing it.
I'll play Judas.
And this is what we talked about last week. Andrew Lloyd Webber is releasing a thing every week for, is it 48 or 72 hours?
Either.
I can't remember. It releases on Fridays. And this week, we were actually just talking to our friend Janine. Hi, Janine. About this week's, because it is Phantom of the Opera. It is the
25th anniversary Royal Albert Hall staged concert version. And they don't have the elephant or the mirror bride. And I'm still mad about it.
And who are the leads?
Sierra Bodges, Ramin Karimloo, and Hadley Fraser.
So we will be watching that on Friday night. Okay. Silent Witness. I finished series 18 and I've started series 19. This is kind of like CSI but set in the UK, but it's forensic pathologists. So, I am watching Shakespeare and Hathaway. I finished series 1 and 2, and I'm watching series 3. This is a private detectives
Crazy mystery show.
set in Stratford upon
on Avon.
Oh, on Avon. And there's so many Shakespeare references in it, and I love it. We're rewatching Frasier. We're still in season 3. We've had other stuff to watch this week. Do you want to talk about the next thing?
What is it? Cabin Fever. He put out one Monday morning. It was supposed to go out on Sunday, but then he got sidetracked, so it came out on Monday morning.
So there's one should come out today then. And it hasn't.
Maybe he got sidetracked again. I don't know. But it had puzzles in it, and they were all solved. I could only solve the one that was meant for 10-year-olds without help.
I should get it.
Looking at the comments, the clues to the other ones are clear. One of them is Arthur's Seat, the highest point in Edinburgh.
Actually, on Instagram, I had a memory come up. Let's see if it's still there, where I can click on it. A post from 3 years ago. Was that Arthur's Seat?
Yeah. That's
he should have released one today, and he didn't. Maybe tomorrow, because it's
bedtime.
It's bedtime in the UK. Okay. The Masked Singer, season 3. We'll watch the new episode tonight.
Oh, Lord.
Who got sent home last week?
Jordan Woods.
Who I had no clue who it was and had to look it up, and I had no clue who it was. Okay. The Blacklist, season 7. NCIS LA, season 11, and New Orleans, season 6. Watching season 7 of When Calls the Heart. There's a whole love triangle going on. Outlander, season 5. I cried both times I watched it. Oh my gosh. Listening to Jocasta sing her goodbye to Murtaugh at his grave. Heartbreaking. And then the way they told Roger's story, because at the end of the last episode, he'd been hung. Okay. He lived. He survived. But they told his story of the inner turmoil he was feeling and his experience of being hung through silent movie. And, of course, so it's black and white for almost the entire episode. Until towards the very end, it then became in color when he realized that his reason for fighting to live and survive was his wife. And that's what he saw her face as he's like passing out. The way he saved himself is he got one of his hands loose from being bound up. And just as they hung him, he reached up and grabbed the rope and was able to give himself, there was enough slack in it. But the way they told it using the silent film, oh my gosh. And young Ian returned, and they haven't shared a whole lot of his story about what happened in his return. It'll be interesting to see if they follow the book of why that happened. But seeing young Ian and Roger, who were both struggling, and the way they ended up helping and supporting each other, it was beautiful. It was a very well done episode. We're watching season 15 of Whose Line Is It Anyway? And we
finished it.
Is season 15 the one on now?
Oh, yeah, it is. Never mind.
But we also watched several episodes of season 14. Let me tell you, probably my 2 favorite...
Can you say this on here?
Yes. My 2 favorite musical numbers from all of my years watching were in a couple of the episodes we watched. One of them, they were singing about lactation consultants. It was hysterical. So funny, like crying, laughing. The other one, they had, oh crap, what's his name from Hamilton? Chris.
Like Andrew
Jackson. Chris Jackson from Hamilton on. And he and Wayne Brady, who I adore, I love Wayne Brady, sung to this woman trying to get her to choose one of them, and Chris Jackson pulling out the fact that he had a chart-topping best whatever song with President Obama. It was hysterical. It was so funny. Two favorites. I'm wondering if they might have just those segments up on YouTube where I could link them, because they're so funny. They're so funny. And then we're watching season 17 of NCIS. Christopher Lloyd was the special guest on when we watched it last night, playing a 95-year-old veteran from Pearl Harbor. And then at the end where Gibbs is talking to...
He's only 81. Fake news!
But he was playing a 95-year-old.
I know. He can't be. Fake news!
Young adults play teenagers.
I know, and it's horrible.
But listening to Gibbs talk to McGee about his experience in the wars that he was in, and gosh, wow. It was a very powerful episode. And then listening to, of course, I'm listening to My Favorite Murder, because y'all know that's my favorite podcast. I'm listening to my CC's Faves playlist on Spotify. What about you?
Kevin Fisher and random Spotify playlists, and also the Songs of Resilience. We'll just keep that in there.
That's right. Okay, well, it's been 20 minutes. We probably should move on to the next segment.
And now we're going to talk about the March, April, May Sheepy Spring Owl.
Blah.
So this started on the 1st of March, and it runs to the 31st of May. And it is for any project that you knit, crochet, weave, spin, stitch, or sew that you can convince us is related to spring. There are a couple main rules. The first is that no whips are allowed. Your project can't have been begun before March 1st and can't be finished later than May 31st. And additionally, each project that you knit, crochet, weave, or spin must be at least 20 yards. I don't know what I'm saying. If your project is not at least 20 yards, you need to group it in a single post together with other projects that together total at least 20 yards. For stitching and sewing projects, we leave it up to your best judgment.
It's been kind of cool to see people sewing masks, because several areas, I mean, they've recommended that people wear face masks when you're out in public, but there's also been some places that have made it mandatory. So,
yeah. Feel free to polydip in other longs as long as it fits in with the other rules. That's totally fine. We've got lots of lovely prizes on our screen right now. Thank you so much to our donors. If you want to get closer looks at these prizes, go to our show notes, geekygirlsknit.com, or tune in to the first podcast of every month where we talk about them in detail. If you want to donate a prize, you can PM Java Pearl and Ravelry, or email us at geekygirlsknit@gmail.com. You must be a member of the Geeky Girls Knit and Cross Stitch podcast FlossTube to participate.
Group on Ravelry, you mean?
See, that's why it shouldn't be so many words.
You could just say Geeky and a Cross Stitch group.
There's a hashtag if you want to post on social media or tag your project. It's GGKCES Spring 20. It's a wonderful noise. The FO thread is going to be locked on the morning of the 1st of June, and winners will be drawn for the next podcast after that. And any winners have 30 days to claim their prize, or they forfeit it. There's a chatter thread on Ravelry where I congratulate people who finish projects, but I also do that here. So, DDor4, DJID, Elsa and M, I Now Our, Knitter Chow, Lil Angel SG2, Elma Call, Nicole S, Nikki Knits, and Yellcat2.
Great job, everybody. Keep working on those projects. You have about 1.5 months to get your projects finished and posted, and you might be a winner. We still have some people from the read-along who have not claimed their prizes. So if you participated in the January, February, March RAL, go back and watch the first episode from April to see if you were a winner and claim your prize. All right, let's move on to the next segment.
And now it's time for Ask the Geeky Girls, the part of our show where you ask us things and we try to answer them.
Yes.
So this was originally asked and answered in 2014. It's from Heather, who is Heather J818 from Ohio.
Last week's person was also from Ohio. It made me laugh.
So there are two separate questions. So, my questions are, if you could be on the cast of any show, current or canceled, which show would you guys join?
So I'm not sure if she's meaning TV or like
Probably TV.
theater.
Probably TV.
TV. You can probably guess this.
Gilmore Girls.
Gilmore Girls. Also, a new show, Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist, would be a fun one to be on. I don't think I would want to be on Lost, even though I love the TV show. I'm not an outdoorsy person, and I don't know how I would handle living on a deserted island with creatures, and
Mama, it's a show.
No living situations unless you went down into the thing with the 4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42. I kind of want to rewatch that show now. Maybe I'll do that after I finish Shakespeare in Hathaway. What about you, Dammy? What show would you like to be on?
I like Brushing Daisies.
Oh, I love that show. There was a show that came out last year called Queens of Mysteries that was kind of pushing Daisy-esque feeling, and I'm hoping that they put out a second series of it. Because I enjoyed it. Okay.
In a related question, if you could drop in on another podcast for an episode, which podcast would you choose? I don't really listen to podcasts, so those goes.
You could do Cabin Fever, Cabin Pressure.
It's not a podcast.
It's not really a podcast, but kind of.
Nose goes.
Non-crafty related, My Favorite Murder. I think it would be hysterical to drop in on that. Crafting related, I would love to drop in on Michelle Bindi Stitchy. That would be a fun one. Stitching the High Notes with Opera Joe would be a fun one. Yeah, those are the ones that come to my forefront immediately. Would be one of those. So, what about y'all? If you could be on the cast of any TV show, current or canceled, what show would you go on? And if you could drop in on another podcast for an episode, what would you choose? We'd love to hear. Answer on YouTube in the comments or in the episode thread in the Ravelry group. Thank you to Heather for the question, even as it's been repeated. We need new questions. Y'all need to ask us questions. So, Dammy, if somebody has a question for us, what should they do?
Go to our Ask the Geeky Girls thread in our Ravelry group and post it, or you can post in the comments on YouTube, and it will be copied over to our Ravelry thread.
And there's not been a single question we've not been willing to answer, so feel free to ask us anything. If it's something that we truly don't feel comfortable, we will let you know. But thus far, in how many ever years we've been answering questions, at least 6 years, we have been willing to answer anything. So get it posted. All right, I think we're ready to move on to the next segment. And with that, we've made it to the end of the show. I feel like this one was a longer one because we had lots of Yummies content and lots of reading, watching, listening content. So, but hopefully we have kept you entertained for at least an hour of this pandemic that continues on. A reminder, we have a coupon code that you can use on the Threads Entwined website. The link is in the show notes. You'll get 15% off through the end of May 2020 with the coupon code lowercase Geeky15, GEEKY15. And thank you to Trish for giving us that code to share with y'all. We'd like to say a humongous thank you to everyone who supports the podcast, however it is you support us, but especially to those of you who support us financially, because unfortunately it does cost money to make a podcast. If you would like to support us financially, there are 3 main ways you can do that. The main one is Patreon, which is a site where you pledge a certain amount a month to your favorite creatives, and you earn rewards based on the level you donate at. We have levels all the way from $1 to $15 and different rewards at those levels. We recently changed some of the rewards and updated them, And one of the things that got added was a weekly vlog, only available to certain level of Patreon donors. So it's been fun doing that. This Saturday we have our first monthly Zoom virtual knitting stitching night. It's not at night, it's in the afternoon, with some of our levels of Patreon. So there's some fun rewards there that you can get. If somebody would like to know more, Dammy, or would like to sign up, where should they go?
Patreon.com/geekygirlsknit.
Yes, what's another way?
There's a PayPal button in the sidebar of our website if you'd like to make a one-time donation.
And we are amazon.com.co.uk and .ca affiliates. If you're going to shop on Amazon, if you go to our website first and click on the appropriate country Amazon link in the sidebar or at the bottom of the show notes, and then do your shopping as normal, we earn a little money back based on what you purchase. It doesn't cost you anything extra, and it's a great way to support the podcast by doing something you'd be doing anyway. Dammy, why don't you tell them where they can find us online?
You can find us at geekygirlsknit.com. There are links to everywhere else we are online: YouTube, iTunes, Ravelry, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, etc.
Well, with that, we're going to tell you goodbye. We hope that you are staying strong through all of this. It's definitely not easy. As I was talking with my doctor this morning, you know, it's not easy for anyone, and we're especially grateful for those essential workers that are keeping things going, like grocery store workers, truck drivers, postal service workers, medical workers, emergency services, utilities, police officers. Who am I forgetting?
I don't know.
If I'm forgetting some, it's not intentional, but we are very grateful to those essential workers who are putting their lives on the line every day to help keep our world going. So stay inside, stay safe. Yeah, let's get this this virus gone so that we can return to a more normal life for all of us. But that can only be done by doing your part. So enjoy your extra crafting time, and make sure, as I've been reminding you every week, to check on people you love, friends, family, neighbors. Send text messages, do video chats, send email, phone calls. Just check on those that you love, especially those who are on their own, single parents, and then people that just live on their own, because it can get lonely. So let's help each other out. So well, with that, until next week, we wish you happy crafting, and we will see you again soon. Bye.
Bye.
Sometimes I feel like somebody's watching me.